This spaghetti western action-adventure has your gunslinging hero pounding some baddies into the dirt, and might just have you pounding your desk in frustration. Hey guys, it's Cody with Indie Game Pulse. If you want to find the newest and best indie games and hear genuine reviews from an indie game fanatic like yourself, click subscribe and the notification bell to make sure you don't miss another video. Let's get into it. The story in Luckslinger is rather a linear affair, but you're based in Clover Creek where you, the Luckslinger, begin your manhunt for the 6 dangerous criminals which loom large over this dusty town. These villains range from a lovely casino owner to a confused religious leader to an old mining prospector. They have each stolen one of the town's precious luck charms, and you must reclaim them to save the town. On your way to Clover Creek, you fortuitously meet a dying man who gifts you his lucky bracelet, which will become very helpful. As you kill or bring back more outlaws for justice, the town begins to bustle with new life and visitors. My favorite character in town to visit was the preacher, who speaks and rhymes to the tune of some heavenly beats. I also enjoyed spending a lot of time in the saloon, where you can visit your room and see your collected gold bars, you can play patty cake with a dear friend, challenge this guy to a drinking game, and bet your hard-earned money on a hand of poker. I won't spoil more of the town because it is a lot of fun to explore and discover more people every time you visit, and interactions are new and interesting upon every return, which I really liked. Throughout all of your comings and goings, your trusty sidekick Duckbridge the Duck will be by your side or on your shoulder, eagerly awaiting a chance to help you succeed in whatever you're doing. Sometimes he'll roost on an enemy's head, causing them to shoot away from you, and he's also very helpful in retrieving your knife. You do need to keep an eye, however, on where he drops it because he's not always very accurate. While Luckslinger does take an increasing amount of skill as you progress through the game, you'll quickly learn that it's best to have Lady Luck on your side too, and you can tell just how lucky you're feeling at any time by the amount of glowing orbs your lucky bracelet has. These can be dropped by killed enemies or found in treasure chests, and one will be lost every time you take damage. So be careful, trust me, because you're gonna need all the luck you can get. Not only can it make random bullets of yours home in on enemies, it can also increase the likelihood that they will shoot stray bullets that can't harm you. I won't spoil everything here again that luck is useful for, but I will say that when I visited these gambling sites strewn about the desolate landscapes, that I thought the game was honestly trying to teach me a valuable lesson about the dangers and costs of gambling. But alas, it was just a matter of luck. I would put this game in the precision platformer category. Even though you aren't needing to execute tight jumps in quick succession, there are many times when you're fighting enemies in very close quarters and need to avoid their bullets while also facing them long enough to shoot your shot. You have a trusty 6-shooter revolver at the ready, and you do need to pay attention to how many bullets are in the chamber and manually reload with the press of a button. The only catch is you need to be on the ground to reload, so try not to jump or roll for a second or two. You also have a throwable knife which flies further the longer you hold the button and can really help get you out of a pinch when you're out of bullets. As I mentioned earlier, your duck can retrieve it from enemies, or you can just pick it up off the ground, but make sure not to leave it behind. And there are indeed some very difficult jumps in the game that need to be executed just right. For those playing on consoles with a controller, the controls are pretty simple to pick up, but they are not rebindable, at least not from my experience on the PC version of the game. I did struggle just a tad with the controls feeling a little sluggish or unresponsive at times, especially when I wanted to roll because you need to aim your left stick left or right and then roll to avoid enemy projectiles. But sometimes I would just stand there like a big dummy and take a shot right to the chest. For me, at times, this was pretty rage-inducing, especially based on how many tries it took me to pass some areas of the map or defeat a couple of the bosses. And the bosses, don't even get me started. This is my biggest gripe with the game in that it wastes your time. Each and every time you fail to beat a boss, you have to walk back in and go through their opening cutscene again. You're able to click through all the dialogue fairly quickly, but when you just want to get back to the fight, it is pretty frustrating. So just beware, that's part of the game. Two of the game's strongest features are its art and music. It's a wonderful pixel art style filled with lots of Western flavor. This can be seen best in the classic Sergio Leone film close-up shots that add that iconic spaghetti Western feel, but in a silly way here since you have to imagine their facial expressions. There are also a great variety of scenes and areas to explore. Warm Western color palettes pervade. There's some cool desert night scenes too, a gold mine setting, a casino built by a femme fatale. I love every single one of them. The music is top-notch too, like a lo-fi Western feel, with some more hip-hop tracks as well. Certain aspects of each scene pulse to the beat for a nice touch, like the moon and clouds in this scene. Each new area of the world has its own distinctive theme, along with records you can collect along your way to play back at the saloon in town. My only problem with the record player in the saloon is that they stop playing when you enter another room, even if it's in the saloon, so if you want to hear the whole track, you need to chill in the lounge area for a bit. Although now that I'm saying this, that actually kind of makes some sense, and feels a little more immersive, I guess. One last thing that I'll leave you with that I absolutely love in video games, even though I'm not musically creative, is when the developer gives you the opportunity to make music with an instrument or different instruments, and Luckslinger really delivers in that aspect. When you're spending time in Clover Creek, you can play the piano in the saloon, trying to match up or harmonize with the tunes on the record player. Or in the record shop, which will build over time, you can try your hand at looping instrumentals together with 5 different instruments. It's a lot of fun and like a creative minigame that I'm sure some of you will really enjoy. So the question is, should you play Luckslinger? I recommend it, but with a fair warning here. This game is difficult and frustrating at times, and I played it on the easier of the 2 difficulty settings. On the easy setting, there are checkpoints along each scene, but they still take some time and a lot of skill to get to each one. But the game is also rewarding, and with a little luck, I think you'll have a fun time exploring this reviving world and meeting all the lovely characters in it. If you like the look of this game or have already enjoyed playing it, Duckbridge is a small developer with a lovely taste in music and an obvious disposition toward crafting creative adventures, and they're currently developing Boy Beats World, a game I've featured before on the channel, and that will be coming out in May 2021, so keep your eye out for that. That's gonna do it, guys. Thank you very much to my 546 subscribers for your support, and I look forward to getting to know more of you soon. For more top indie game countdowns and reviews, check out the videos on your screen now, and I'll see you on the other side.